Okay, here is question 3. So question 3, it is vertical projectile motion. It says a learner stands on a balcony 5 minutes above the street and throws ball A 5 meters, so 5 meters above the street and throws ball A above vertically upwards at a speed of 5 meters per second like this. At the same time, another learner throws ball B vertically upwards from from the street, okay, with the initial velocity of that much, okay. Ignore the effect of friction. Define projectile motion. Remember projectile motion? What is projectile motion? Projectile motion, it is the motion of an object, the motion of an object under the influence of gravitational force, or not gravity, of gravitational force, gravitational force only. So this is your definition. Do not say the motion of an object under the influence of gravity only. No, gravitational force only. Okay, and it is the what? The motion of an object. Do not say the object. The minute you say the object, it is wrong because we are now defining what? Projectile. Actually, you are now defining a projectile. Okay, so now you are asked to define projectile motion. So this is the same as you defining free fall. Okay, free fall. Projectile motion, it is the same as free fall. But if you define projectile, it is wrong. Okay, yes. Projectile motion is the same as free fall. 3.2, they say calculate the maximum height above the ground reached by ball A. Reached by ball A above the ground. So already ball A, it is 5 meters above the ground. So they want to know the maximum height reached above the ground. So I want to know the this is maximum height again. So we want to know this height plus. Now they say the maximum height above the ground. So with respect to the ground. So whatever the value that you're gonna get here from the H, you need to add how much? 5, because it is the height from the what? From the ground. So it's gonna be how much? It's gonna be what? Let's try to do that. So it's gonna be on 3.2. Let's see. We know that the maximum height, the velocity is 0 again. And we want what? Change in y. And we have acceleration. Okay, I'm gonna choose upwards as positive for all my calculations. Acceleration is negative, okay? 9.8 meters per second squared. Then it's fine. I can use which formula? Let me see, VF, okay. So I'm gonna say VF squared, it is equal to VI squared plus 2A change in y, and I choose upwards as positive. And then I know my final velocity is 0. My initial velocity is 5, and it's moving upwards 2. Acceleration, it is negative 9.8, and then my change in y. And then I get to see that my change in y, it is how much? I get my change in y to be 1.28 meters. Okay, if you chose downwards as positive, your answer will be negative here. But what we want, it is the what? The maximum height. So we're gonna say, therefore, the maximum height is gonna be 1.28 plus the 5 meter, and it's gonna be 6.28 meters. Guys, this is a mark here, a mark here, and then for adding these, here it is a mark, and then the final mark is there. I don't know why is it uh remarks like that. Okay, it's supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be 4. This was supposed to be 4 marks here, not 3. And then, yeah, we'll move on and see other questions. And then 3.3 says calculate the time at which the two balls will move at the same speed. Okay, will there ever be that scenario where they move at the same speed? Let me see. What did they tell us? They reach the ground at the same time? No. Okay, we are not told that they reach the ground at the same time, and then they do not meet. They do not meet somewhere. Calculate the time at which the two balls will move at the same speed. Okay, I think this question is unfair because there is no information where they will meet. Maybe this one. Okay, let me see. For ball A, let's say, for ball A, let's try to do that. For ball A, we have the initial velocity of 5 meters per second. And then let's say the final velocity is V. For ball B, the initial velocity is 8 meters per second. And then the final velocity is V. We want them to be equal, where they will be the same, right? And then we have acceleration to be 9.8. Acceleration for both, okay, it's the same. Remember, we choose upwards as positive. Then I need one variable. Okay, time. Okay, let me make time to be equal to t. Changing time to be equal to t because they moved at the same time. Okay. When this one was thrown, this one was also thrown. So let's see if I can make something out of this. Let's say I have VI, blah, 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 and changing time. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna try this and say for ball A, okay, using the information that I have, VF, it is equal to VI plus A changing time. And then VF is just V. V initial, it is 5 plus negative 9.8 T. And then I get V to be equal to 5 minus 9.8 T. Let's say this is equation 1. Let's consider ball B. When we consider ball B, it's going to be VF. It is equal to VI plus A change in time. And then VF is just V. VI, it is 8 plus negative 9.8 T. And then B is going to be 8 minus 9.8 T. Equation 2. And then let's equate those two equations. Equation 1, it is equal to equation 2. Let's see. 5 minus 9.8 T, it is equal to 8 minus 9.8 T. And then these and these will cancel. 5, it is equal to 8 not. This is a contradiction. Contradiction. So it tells you that there will never be a scenario like that. Okay? Okay? Will never. Okay? The object will never move at the same speed. So I think 3.3 was an unfair question. I don't think it was also marked because, yeah, there is no scenario like that as of yet, and provided the information that we are given. So 3.3, I'm gonna say it is taken out. Okay, it is an unfair question. Very, very unfair. So cannot be done. Probably they distributed marks somewhere. Okay, okay, okay. And then let's move on to 3.4. 3.4, they say ball A reaches the maximum height after 0.51 seconds. Calculate the velocity at which ball B was moving. when ball A was when ball A reached the maximum height. So they basically were trying to see where how much was the velocity of ball B, okay, when this one reached the maximum height. So let's try to see that. Let's try to see that the speed of ball B. So we'll say, okay, for ball B, we have the initial velocity to be 8 meters per second, and then we are given time to be, we want to see when time it is 0.51 seconds, and then I want to see the final velocity, and I have acceleration to be negative 9.8 meters per second squared. So it's gonna be, okay, just a fairly easy calculation, plus a change in time, upwards is positive, V final I'm looking for u, V initial it is 8 plus negative 9.8, and then t 0.51. And then I get V final to be something like 3. Well, it is positive. They said velocity, 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 not the magnitude. So the velocity, we need the direction. It is positive, so it means it is moving upwards. And then the last one, 3.5, they say, okay, they say sketch the velocity time graph for the motion of the two balls until they reach the same speed. When did they reach the same speed, Vel? Well, well. Well, they did not necessarily reach the same speed, but what we can draw for them until uh, let's see. Let's see what we're supposed to indicate. Indicate the initial velocity of the both balls, time at which ball A reaches the maximum height, time at which ball B reaches the same speed. Balls reach the same speed. Okay, now what I'm gonna draw here, it is I'm gonna say here, okay, instead, I'm gonna just listen to one of the instruction. Remember, this is velocity in meters per second, and then this is time in seconds. And then I'm gonna start with the 5, okay? The 5 one, when I choose upwards as positive, the 5, ball A, okay, ball A here moved upwards to the maximum height, and then blah, 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 blah. So it moved from here to the maximum height. Okay, let me say it moved from here to the maximum height, and then it continued to move wherever it moved to. Okay, the maximum height and continued to move wherever it went to. And then I'm gonna say this is the maximum height. But this one, they say to us that ball A reaches the maximum height after 0.51 seconds. Okay, this question, I feel like they wanted to make it difficult, but they ended up making errors. Okay, and then ball B started at the velocity of 8. Okay, and it went. Can you still remember that when when ball A reaches the maximum height, the speed of this one was 3. So the speed of this one at this point was somewhere here at 3. So from here, it was somewhere here when this one reaches the maximum height. And then, so it means it's going to reach the maximum height later on. So let's just draw for them when they're at the maximum height, both of them. And yeah, what I'm going to do is just say, okay, from here to just there. And okay, we don't know actually where it ended up. I'm going to just end somewhere here. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna just end there because I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know exactly what happened. So this is what I might do. Yeah, because there is no uh, full information here. Everything is just short, and it makes the answers there of not to make sense. Okay, so this is ball A. This is ball B. One of the unfair question papers ever. Like little known information. Like sorry, everything was a little bit unfair. Okay, was unfair, and then I think for each velocity it was a mark, and then the lines should be parallel, a mark, and then a here the graphs should be on different quadrants, and then both graphs should end at the same time. That is unknown. And then yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they mark this, but yeah, this is what I was gonna talk, guys. So yep. Let's move on to question 4. Hopefully it wasn't unfair like this one. Hopefully. Hopefully it wasn't unfair like this one, but yeah, we'll see.